You ready to eat some fucking tacos, bro? You ready to eat some fucking tacos, bro? Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Taco Tuesday! Hey, don't want no pizza.
Damn it.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
What's going on, folks? You know what day it is. It is Taco Tuesday. I'm KC.
And I'm E.
And we are Not Your Average Podcast. We are here, guys. 2 weeks in a row. Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us. Just doing things.
Consistency.
You know, consistency. We are staying with it, y'all, because you know we got to keep this ball rolling.
Going. Yeah,
because you know we got a live coming up.
We do have a live coming up.
So we got to keep cramming it down your throats. We got a live coming up October 29th at the Nile.
Yeah,
in Inglewood.
In city of
3
Inglewood.
p.m.
Yes.
How you doing, Eva?
I'm good. Why we say yes? We've been around each other too long. We've always like yes.
What's up, Carla? How you doing,
Carla.
girl?
I am doing great, and I'm very, very excited about. Is that it? Oh, that's
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell right now.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about our live on October 29th. It's going to have a Halloween contest. We have drink specials at the Nile. Is that okay? It's going to have a Halloween contest. We have drink specials at the Nile. It's going to be a lot of fun. Casey and I will start our show at 3 p.m.
3 p.m.
And
the show will start at 3 p.m.
Yeah, the show will start at 3 p.m. and then we'll end it around 4, shortly after 4, because then the bar goes into its happy hour.
Right.
We want people to engage and enjoy the happy hour. We want people to show off their costumes because it's a costume contest. So we got to see your costumes.
When was our last one? Over a year ago?
Our last one was last year, September.
Jeez.
September of last year. It was Labor Day.
Yeah. Labor Day last year.
So it was a year ago. And when we first started doing lives, we were doing them like quarterly, like every 3 months. And we was doing really well. And then COVID hit. And we had to cancel the one we was planning when COVID hit, because we was really in the middle of planning one, for your birthday. Because COVID hit in March. We was going to do our live in April. And then COVID hit. Life happened. And we had to postpone everything. But we're coming back. We're getting out of, coming from under the covers, out of the cave, and we're going to start our lives again. And this will be our first one, and it's going to be October 29th in the city of Inglewood at the Nile Bar.
Well, this is our second one since the quarantine.
Oh, because last year. Yeah.
Even, and now, Biden says the pandemic is officially over.
He did say that. He did say that. I don't think he probably should have.
LA might have mask mandates come back. So, because our numbers are still rising. So,
and then we have monkeypox going on.
Hey, Deanna, how you doing, girl?
Hey, hon. We have monkeypox going on out here too. So it's just a lot going on right now. So it's always still wash your hands, be careful and everything.
I mean, just wash your hands, period.
Yeah, COVID
you guys see this viral video of these two girls on a podcast, and they're talking about why it's so ridiculous to wash your hands after you use the bathroom.
Why is it?
And she's like, if you're a man, you have to wash your hands after you use the bathroom. That means you have a dirty dick. And she's like, why do I have to wash my hands? I'm not sticking my hands in my vagina. Blah 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 blah. Like, it's
she was serious.
Both of them were. They were like, yeah. Sometimes I even go to the sink. If I know someone's in the stall, I'll go to the sink and turn the water on, pretend I'm washing my hands, and then turn it off and walk out.
Why take the energy to turn the water on and fake it? Just put your hands under
So if you know that it's nasty that you're not washing your hands, then wash your hands.
Yeah, but I don't want to get too graphic with it, but we do put our hands in a certain place, regardless.
Well, not only that,
like it's just.
Oh, today is National Taco Day.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for that reminder, Deanna. We ain't got no tacos.
Yeah, that is. I just don't understand to take the energy to go to the sink and turn the water on.
That means you know what's wrong.
Yeah, if you gotta fake it, just wash your
you're already there.
hands.
You're already doing it.
You're physically right there,
and you're wasting the water.
Yeah, just put your hands under the water.
And plus, there's so much feces in the bathroom. Period. When you flush a toilet, the water that goes into the atmosphere. Like it does. It does. Like it splashes feces all over. Yeah.
And that's the reason.
And you're touching things and just even if you don't touch anything, it's an opportunity to wash your hands because you're touching things all day. Take the opportunity to wash your hands, like, because you're not going to be like, oh, I shook someone's hand, let me go wash my hands. No, take the opportunity to wash whatever you had on your hands off for the past 3 hours.
Yeah, just wash
and keep it moving.
What's so funny that you said that? I'm gonna say this one comment, then we can let this nasty conversation go. But they've done a study, and when you even in a house bathroom, if you have one of those toothbrush holder things that sit on your sink, when you use the bathroom, certain things still come up out the toilet. That's why you should always keep your toothbrush covered, even at home, and you should put it up. It should be like in a cabinet or in your medicine cabinet or whatever. It shouldn't be sitting on your sink.
Otherwise,
like they
you
do
brush your teeth with feces.
Because some of that access still comes up because you have to flush the toilet.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. So it's just nasty.
Yeah. Relaxing vibration says anyone who doesn't wash their hands after using the bathroom is nasty AF.
Real talk. But you know what's crazy is I know a lot of men don't.
Hey, Donna Webster.
When I went to Greece, you've been there also. Greece has co-ed bathrooms. Year, huh? Yeah, we both went this year. Greece has co-ed bathrooms. So, and I've been in a man's bathroom before because I'm the type of woman, when I have to go, I have to go. And if their line is short, I'm going in. So I've done it numerous times and I've gotten in trouble numerous times. I don't care. Because the men get so upset when I come off the stall, but shit, I have to use the bathroom. Yeah. So anyway, in Greece it's co-ed. And so you know, they're walking in and out on a constant basis. It's one little tunnel sink and it has, you know, certain things. And you will see the guys come out the stall, wipe them hands on them thighs, and they out. And I'm just like, you nasty mother. And then when you see them like throughout the night in the club, you just like, don't
nasty.
Touch me, you nasty mother. It's just crazy.
Like, oh, you just gonna touch that? You just gonna touch that? You just gonna touch that? Oh, you gonna touch that right
there? It's like,
Relaxing vibration says, OMG, I heard about that. I need to get a toothbrush cover because I know not all of my guests close the lid of the toilet and I cannot brush my teeth with contaminated toothbrush.
Exactly. It really happens. It's true. They did a study.
Jamila, our homegirl Jamila, she'll get livid if someone like just leaves the seat up. Not the
she mean
toilet
the
seat, like the lid. Yeah. And they leave that up because it's like she's like, you know what it does?
She wants you to put it down. Yeah. But believe it or not, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. So
O'Bray Bowman says a lot of men do not wash their hands after using the bathroom. They race past and past the sink like it's a quarter horse, fingers full of boom. Deanna Stevens said it sprays mist in the air. Yeah,
definitely. It's just part of life and how it works. So, you know, just wash your hands. You should have been washing them before COVID, but you should definitely need to start washing your hands, you guys.
And if you're in the bathroom, see it as an opportunity to wash your hands because you don't have sinks everywhere. You know, so it's like, oh, there's a sink. Let me wash my hands. If you go in there to check your hair or check your makeup, like, oh, there's a sink. Let me wash my hands. Because guess what? You're touching all types of shit all day long. And touching things that people that have not washed their hands after the bathroom are touching, and now you have all that stuff spread it. The phone is one of the biggest things that have feces on it. They found your cell phone.
Oh well, yeah,
your cell phone. You know, people take it to the bathroom when they're doing the do. They're on the scrolling, and
they're on it. Yeah. That's
so
gross, but that makes sense.
That's a shitty text you're sending. But yeah, so it also wipe down your phones. Like all this stuff should have been happening before the pandemic.
Prior, yep.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Carla Bowman. This is easier now because Carla Bowman and O'Bray Bowman have different profile pictures now. They used to have the same profile
so now
picture
you would know who you
for the longest time. Even though they're both in both of the pictures, but
they gave you different pictures.
Carla says, I'm glad our toilet is separated and has a door. No grubby toothbrush.
Exactly.
All right. So that's doo-doo.
Yeah, we had that conversation. I didn't realize it was going to go into that. But
me neither.
That happened. So it's Tuesday. It is the first Tuesday of October.
It is October already, y'all.
Yes, you guys. It's fall. Out here in California, it doesn't really feel like fall, but it's definitely fall. It's the layered season. I actually love fall weather, but we don't get it like that. It's still hot as hell out here. It's 90 degrees out here.
Relaxing Vibration says they don't want to let it go. She said they say they claim a cell phone is filthier than a toilet seat. It's wild. Yeah. And I believe it.
I believe it though.
Mm-hmm.
Completely, because you take your cell phone everywhere.
And that's why, like, if you're working in the kitchen, you're not supposed to be touching your cell phone.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah.
When you're at work, you should be touching.
And people don't understand. Like, I texted you, blah 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 blah. Or you missed my call. I am working. It's not just because I can't like put things down and grab my. I don't want to touch my phone during that time because then I gotta wash my hands again. And it's like my hands be all ashy by the end of the day. Look at it. Look at the web. Look at the web. So you see, I've been washing my hands all day.
Yeah, they're ashy. I can tell. I said they're ashy. I can tell.
Look at that web. Just ground zero.
So it is October. We are on the last quarter of 2022, almost at 2023. How crazy is that? This year went by really, really fast. Really fast. We're at the last quarter. It is fall, and this is the first Tuesday of October, and it's National Taco Day. So hey, Taco Tuesday on National Taco Day.
Relaxing Vibration says you're home. Go get some lotion. I had to hurry up and set up so I can talk to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I do this for y'all. I am ashy for y'all. I came from work to set up, and then now I'm here with y'all.
Yeah.
But maybe I might, lotion up afterwards. I might. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I'll put it on my story if I do. Stay tuned.
I hate you. Stay tuned. And a lot has actually happened today. That's one of the biggest reasons a few years ago, Casey and I decided to always go live on Tuesdays because so much actually happens on that day and we can actually touch it and have a conversation about it and converse about what's actually in the news present time. But before we get into some of the things that you guys know we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about a little of some other things that has happened this week. It's been a busy week with news and the entertainment industry. So we're going to touch a couple of the things that's been going on in the entertainment industry this week before we get to our hard shell and have an actual conversation about one of the main things that has happened today. So the first thing we wanted to discuss was the Kanye West situation.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
What's going on with Kanye West?
Kanye West had a fashion
What's
show.
going on with my bestie?
Kanye West had a fashion show this week in, is it Paris? Is he in Paris?
Paris, yeah.
Okay, he had a fashion show presenting Yeezy 6, I think, the Yeezy 6 line, and at the fashion show, he was wearing, it's not part of his line, but he was wearing a sweatshirt or a hoodie. I think it was an actual sweatshirt. I don't think the hood was actually attached to it. And it said "White Lives Matter." And then
on the back
of the shirt. And then as he was standing there, Candace Owens comes up. Candace Owens is she's a personality, a news person, very conservative.
Political commentator.
Political commentator, very conservative, definitely a Republican.
Super conservative,
very conservative. And she walks up. Kanye's sweatshirt was black. She walks up. She happens to have on the same exact sweatshirt, but hers is white.
And the Pope is on the front.
Oh, see, I didn't know it was on the front.
The Pope was on the front, and then White Lives Matters on the back. And he had a black one. She had a white one.
Lauryn Hill's daughter was there. She happened to have one too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lauryn Hill's oldest daughter was there.
Oh, wow.
And Sela had on hers too. Standing next to Kanye, dancing and twirling.
That's wild.
So she, so if I remember correctly, those are the only three people I know that had one on. And him coming out and
I almost wore mine on the show, but
it
has stains on it.
A lot of news. It brought a lot of press. I think more people was looking at what he had on than his actual fashion line that he was dropping.
I mean, because we've seen everything that's in his fashion line already.
We know how his fashion line goes and how it works. So, what was your take when you saw the White Lives Matter sweatshirt?
I'm done. I don't know what to do anymore. Like usually I could be like, usually like, okay, I can see where he was going with this. I could see.
Normally you say that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could see like what he was trying to do. Like I could kind of see like in his mind's eye, like what his mission was. With this, I can't see it. And if I could see it, I wouldn't want to. Like it's way beyond the MAGA hat. It's not even an All Lives Matter shirt. No, it's that would be one thing.
Yeah.
It'll be bullshit, but it's still
It would be different from what the one he
But to have the White Lives Matter shirt on, it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Twitter went in an uproar. Van Lathan.
And the fact that
a lot of people said
and he's there with the kids from his school too.
Yeah.
So including his daughter.
Yeah,
including my friend Tasha's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's there with these kids and he's rocking this White Lives Matter, shirt in Paris. And I don't know anymore. I can't. I'm out of can. I just can't. I don't know.
And then he finally came out. This happened yesterday. And then he finally came out today and was like, everybody know the Black Lives BLM was a hoax, or it wasn't. It was a hoax. It wasn't what it was supposed to be about.
Well, this is the thing. We're not talking about the organization.
Well, I think that's what I was going to say. First of all, people have to understand why he's saying that. He's saying that because of the Black Lives Matter organization. It had a lot of different issues come about where they was actually putting the funds and what they were doing with it, and really behind the people who run the organization, not the mantra. Just behind the people who actually run the organization. Were they allocating the funds properly?
Right.
And it came to find out they were not allocating all the funds the way that they were telling people they were. So when he comes out to say something about the organization, that I understood, but I still can't wrap my head around the White Lives Matter mantra that he's trying to say. And that's because if you've been following the show and you've looked at our podcast before, especially in 2020, when the BLM movement became really big and really large, the only thing that's missing from the phrase Black Lives Matter is the word "to," T-O-O. Also, just for those who don't understand what it means, it's not T-O-T-O-O, because T-O-O also means also. So with that being said, we never was saying other lives didn't matter.
Because it's just the fact that those are evident.
Yes.
Every day you see that White Lives Matter. That's evident.
Yes.
But with us, we're not only it's not only excluded from that conversation, but we're told and we're shown that our lives do not matter.
Exactly.
And that's why Black Lives Matter started, because it was a reminder. Hey guys, guess what? We matter.
Yeah.
Because obviously you guys don't think that.
Exactly.
So the phrase White Lives Matter is not necessary because it's crammed down our throat
every day
from birth.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? Donna Webster says bad publicity is better than no publicity. Kanye West doesn't need to do this for pub. He was in the news because he was sitting down on the side of the road on his cell phone. Like, he could do anything and he gets publicity. Yeah. He doesn't need to do this for publicity. This is just offensive. It's hurtful. And it's a complete opposite of what he's saying when he talks about, his divorce and talking about his black kids and all this stuff. When you're rocking a White Lives Matter shirt, a phrase that was created by people who hate people that look like your kids. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Relaxing Vibration says it's disgraceful and embarrassing. Then he goes on to say Black Lives Matter was a scam. Oh, yeah. I get it that they misuse the money, but what the fuck? Yes, and we're not. And the thing is, damn the organization. We're talking about the words, the phrase, the way of thinking.
Yeah,
we matter. That's all we're saying. The fact that we have to say it
is the
speaks
problem.
Volumes.
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
And now you're going against this.
Exactly.
Donna Webster says, distracting us from the ridiculous fashion show, models trudging through the mud. Well, that was Balenciaga. That was their fashion show.
Yeah, he did not Kanye.
Well, he was the opening model.
Yeah,
actually,
he was
first. Kanye. While he was in Paris, he walked in the Balenciaga fashion show, which was the whole runway, whole floor was covered in mud. People were having problems walking through it, women in heels, having issues and all this stuff. But that's neither here or there. That's done already. That had passed. We saw it, laughed at it, and moved on.
Right.
This was just something else. Relaxing Vibration says they were not using the funds ethically, and I'm not saying it's okay, but how many huge corporations, nonprofits misuse funds, yet they are under the same microscope as us. Yet again, we're not talking about the organization. Damn the organization. We're talking about the phrase and the way of thinking the train of thought that Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the organization is even tied to it is, hurtful to the whole movement.
It is. Completely.
Carla Bowman says, I watched it live, but I missed his shirt. Well, you watched the Balenciaga, you watched the fashion show, the Balenciaga fashion show. He wore the shirt at the Yeezy fashion show a couple days later, where he had the Sunday service choir there, the kids from the kids from Donda, Donda School there. That's and that was live on Instagram as well, but there was no sound.
Oh, I didn't know it was live on
there was
Instagram.
No sound.
Because what I saw was stills. I saw still pictures, but I knew where he was. I saw still pictures. So, like I said, that came about. Twitter went crazy. Instagram went crazy. A lot of people went crazy and have their own personal opinions of what he was actually wearing and everything. But like we're both saying, we're not talking about the organization. It's the mantra. It's the phrase. It's the words. That's what we're talking about. And I don't know if he did it for publicity, because I feel everything he doesn't have to do anything for publicity, because no matter what he do, people are going to talk about it.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. But I do think he should have taken consideration, since one day he want to be this great dad who thinks of his kids' future and more mindful of the type of children he have and the world he's raising them in. I think he needs to be mindful of things like this, because eventually your kids are going to come back and probably ask you some questions.
Right.
I mean, you have four children who's going to have four different personalities, and you don't know exactly how they're going to go. None of us know how our kids are going to turn out. And some of your kids may be like, what was up with that?
Right.
What was going on with that? Because his children are not 100% white. Their mother's not white. I think Kris Jenner is Caucasian, but their father is Iranian. Armenian. So Kim is mixed, and then you have a whole Black dad with this mixed woman. So your kids have a lot going on. And you need to be mindful of that, because to certain people, no matter what they're mixed with, some people are just going to see them as Black kids.
Right.
If they're not going to see them as anything else. That's exactly what your boys are going to be looked at. So you need to be mindful of what you're saying when you become a parent, and you don't have small babies. North is a big girl. So you need to be mindful of things like that. I was actually disgusted with his sweatshirt. It just pissed me off. As crazy as it is, Candace didn't bother me at all.
Candace was expected,
because that makes common sense for her.
Yeah.
If you know how she is and you follow her and you see how she speaks, nothing about that shocked me. Her standing next to him was not a big deal to me. I was very, very disappointed and disgusted at him, but I didn't feel no way about Candace.
Yeah. So here's a shirt. White Lives Matter. On the front, it was a picture of the Pope, but this is him and Candace Owens. She's got Kanye on her side, so she's feeling like on top of the world.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because she's used to having
everybody goes in on her.
Yeah, she's used to having everyone against her.
Yeah,
she's got one of the biggest influencers in the world standing next to her with her same idealization, whatever ideology. There we go. Yeah, so it's wild, y'all. It's wild and it's sad.
Yeah, and then you got to realize in this social media world that we live in, people do a lot of things for clout. People do a lot. I don't know if he needed to do it for clout, but she definitely put hers on and ran up there next to him for a reason. Because like you said, if you're in politics in any way, you know how she gets floored.
I want to know
cornered up all the time about politics and about her way of thinking about politics and how she supposedly feels she's repping us. Right. She's really not. So
I want to know where they came from, because where the shirts came from, because if multiple people were wearing them, like whose idea were they?
I don't know.
Like, was it Candace's idea? Because they had different colors too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was something that was definitely planned.
For sure. So that's, I don't know where they originated. Because I have no clue. Yeah, but it was something that was a little crazy, caught off guard, and it blew social media up yesterday.
Yeah, I just bought mine from StockX, and it was Yay, gang.
No. Normally, you are the one to defend, but you can't defend this one.
You can't.
It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it was just something we had to touch on and talk about, because I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
And what else is happening in the news? I don't want to go straight into the hard shell just yet, but I think
the hard shell? Divorce?
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we're kind of on politics a little bit, because this happened right before, just coincidentally just happened right before the midterms.
Yes.
You know, this whole White Lives Matter situation, and Candace is always very much in the limelight when it comes to the political races and all that stuff. Even though she's not running herself, she's very much, you know, she stands strong behind the people that she follows and the people that she wants to be elected.
She's supposed to help them gather the black vote,
the
black conservative vote.
But now she's got Kanye, and Kanye has a lot of people who are like, he can't do anything wrong. So we'll see if the Yeezys go towards the Republicans. But I hate the whole bipartisan situation anyway. But what's his name? John Kennedy. So midterms are coming up, and so Senate, all that stuff, we're voting for.
Yes.
Like sheriffs and stuff like that, right? So during this time, if you watch television at all, you'll see a, you know,
ads.
Yeah, you'll see a ton of ads for different props that you have to do your research on, and definitely do your research on those.
And we'll talk more about them.
Yeah, we always talk more about them when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
But John Kennedy has a new ad out, and he has a solution to the horrible policing of the police force in the U.S.
Okay.
He has an amazing solution, and I was never a big, you know, John Kennedy fan, you know, but he's got me with this one, and
Does he have it?
Yeah, like he solved it completely. Like the whole defund the police thing, I was like, oh, the verbiage is off, you know, it's really, you know, reallocate funds, blah blah blah, you know, but you know, I always thought that was flawed, you know, just the verbiage of it.
Yeah.
But Kennedy, he's got it, boy. Let's check it out.
Let's see what he says.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
I didn't know where he was going with that.
He is serious. He was like, I'm going to kill him with this one.
Yes.
If you get in trouble, call a crackhead. He was, drop the mic.
Yeah, he was like, I'm John Kennedy. I approve this message. He was done.
And it's like, no matter how, like, defund the police, that phrase came about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times people explain what they really mean, they just take that phrase and run with it as if we don't want any police force at all. Like we want to take all the money from the police force.
And then you have police forces who was very angry at people. I can't remember the state at the current time. I'll have to look and see. But one police force, I think down south, they just like didn't go to work. Yeah. They just said, well, if you're going to defund us, we're out. And they just didn't go to work.
Yeah.
They just stopped going. So these campaign ads are real right now because I've seen one where a woman is rapping. Did I DM it to you?
No.
Oh, I gotta find it. She's an older white lady.
Oh,
she's rapping.
I saw that one. I saw that one.
She's rapping on her, and he just said, "Call a crackhead."
Yeah, man.
They're getting really creative.
Yeah, and it's the narrative. It's like they're telling their people that the reason why you want to defund the police is because we hate cops just because they're cops. You know what I'm saying?
That's not why we hate them.
At all.
No, that's no.
Yeah.
We don't hate them because of the career they chose. Like, no.
And they know this, which is why they work so hard to get that net to change that narrative.
Right.
But the people under them, that's all they need. The people that follow them, that's all they need.
It.
Yeah, they don't need to do any research. They don't need to talk to anyone. They don't need to, that's horrible. You know, you're right. Defund them. Yeah, defund them.
Yeah.
There's plenty of crackheads they can call. I know 3.
I think that's hilarious that he said call it crack.
And I'm happy you hadn't seen it before until this But yeah, man.
He said, I blame the criminals.
He got it figured out. So
that's the answer.
Yeah, so I'm putting together a list of crackheads that I know You know, we're gonna start a database.
Okay, I have some. I know a few.
We're gonna start a database. So
I know a few. I know a couple.
So if you ever need a crackhead, you just dial the number, and one will pop up quick because they're always around.
The whole concept of it's hilarious to me. That's funny.
And you know the strength of a crackhead. Have you seen how strong crackheads are?
That's because
they'll take care of that crime just like that. They're super fast. They don't need a cop car or nothing. They just run.
He didn't even elaborate. He just said, "Call a crackhead."
Call a crackhead.
I'm John Kennedy. I approve this. He was done.
Drop the mic.
He did.
He was like, it's like he dropped like 16 bars and was like, wow.
I didn't know where he was going. It was
That's
getting
so
serious.
A hot line right there.
Okay.
He was dropped a hot bar and just walked off. Mo fire.
I understand that they have to, do a little bit more to get the attention, of their constituents and people to vote for them. But I think your constituents, if the Barack Obama campaign didn't prove anything to you, people are watching you, especially the youth, especially younger people. They're very, very concerned in the direction that the world is going and the states are going and the city that they live in or grew up in is going. So I think these campaigns need to be ran with a little bit more structure because people are paying attention compared to maybe about 25 years ago. It didn't matter what you were saying. People was like Republican, Democrat. But now you have people who are liberals. You have people who say, I'm not neither. I'm going to just vote for the best person who can do the job. And people are actually listening. And I think that really came about when former President Barack Obama ran. Yeah. I think he ignited a lot of young people. He had a very grassroots campaign with people giving him $5 and $10 and $20. And I think, and he won twice. And I think that really, really petrified conservatives. People are listening to him because he got a lot of conservatives to actually vote for him. But
if you notice, a lot of there's been a dip in young conservatives, young Republicans. Yeah, because they think differently. You know what I'm saying? They see how things are affecting them in real time, in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Or their parents. From, like I said, from just voting Republican or Democrat, you have people now who really want to hear what you have to say. If you do back when John McCain was running, John McCain loved town halls. That was his big thing. He didn't like the big rooms. He liked little town halls where he could go to the people and talk to the people. That was his favorite way to campaign. And now when you go to these town halls, and a lot of southern states have them, West Coast, we don't have as many, but down south in the Midwest do. And you talking to the actual people, these people are not older people that are asking the questions. They're young people who are very concerned about their future and where this world is going with them and how open you are to certain things like AI. That's a big thing with a lot of young people. Where are you going with that? Because you have a lot of young people, that's their profession, that's their career choice. So they want to know, if I invent something or create something, how open are you to expand? Right. And do things like that. So I think now, if you're a campaign manager, you're trying to figure out how to get, your people under it. And I don't know who came up with John Kennedy's situation, but I do think they probably should have threw some bullet points up there or gave us some elaboration, because I looked at it as a joke. I thought it was hilarious, but he was so stern and serious. You just want to be like, well, if that's what you're doing, then how much sense is that making? Tell us more. That's her right there. And I just think they're putting all this stuff together as the campaign manager, but they're really not thinking all the way through, because people have other things they want to know. So he found the rap song for you guys, and you guys have to see it. It's hilarious.
Are you guys ready for this?
It's hilarious.
So this is how they're getting, tapping into the youth, because this is what all young people want to see. I'm so sorry. Give me
I don't know if all young people want to see it.
Hey, I'm with it. She got my vote.
This is a senator representative running in Utah.
Yes, Utah. Linda Paulson.
This shit's hilarious, y'all.
Hey, Utah District 12, listen up right here. There's a new name on the ballot for the Senate this year. My name is Linda Paulson, Republican and awesome. Love God and family and the Constitution. I tried to get another conservative to run. Nobody could do it, so I'm getting it done. I'm pro-religious freedom, pro-life, pro-police, the right to bear arms and the right to free speech. I want less government control and regulation, want to stop and expose all political corruption where there's integrity, morality, accountability. Government programs should lead to self-sufficiency and support traditional family as the fundamental unit of society. But in schools, they're pushing for new beliefs. And just to clarify, that's a female adult. I know what a woman is. I love this country. It's a blessing to be free, but freedom comes with responsibility. The Constitution needs to be protected, not changed or disregarded, but resurrected. If you share my values, if you like what I stand for, then give me your vote on the 8th of November. District 12 needs a choice. Let me be your voice. Linda Paulson. Linda Paulson for Senate.
Bars, son.
But first,
Bars. Bars. Linda Paulson, y'all. Give it up for Linda.
you guys, when I first saw that, I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? wait. I listened to it like 3 times.
Bars, all the bars.
Oh, wow.
What's up, Uncle Freddie?
And she put what she feels. Like, she put what she's about and what she feels in there. She really did. But it just shows where they don't exactly know how to get these young people behind them. So the campaign managers are just all over the place.
So she's anti-abortion. She's anti-gay marriage.
Oh, yeah. She's all about traditional families, pro-life.
The Constitution, even though a lot of people that are running in her party talk about the things they want to do are unconstitutional.
Yeah, she talked about resurrecting the Constitution, like coming back. She talked about a right to bear arms. You also have to realize she's running in the state of Utah. Utah is it's not Midwest because it's not that far. We can drive to Utah from Cali, but it's a nice little drive. So, like I said, it's not Midwest. It's not in the middle, but it's not all the way over either. It's kind of like close to the Midwest, close to us. It's not that far because you can drive to Utah from here. It's not a long drive.
I mean, you can drive anywhere from here.
Yeah, but some drives are longer than others. Utah's not that bad. Texas, that's a long drive. So she's running, and like we were saying about the campaign managers, I think they're just reaching. They're just pulling straws, trying to figure out exactly how to get people to come out and vote for their person, but they know they got to attract a younger crowd. So that's why I wanted to talk about her particular campaign and how she chose to do that. And then that's when Casey told me about John Kennedy, who said, just call a crackhead. So whoever is running their campaigns is just throwing shit on the wall, hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's sticking, but it's definitely getting some notoriety. I don't know if it's in a positive way, but it's definitely getting some notoriety. But I think you need to be mindful of what type of notoriety you want when you're running for politics. When you're running for any political position, you need to be mindful of exactly what you want people to say about you, because they're going to throw that campaign in your face for the remainder of the time that you're sitting in any seat.
Yeah.
So I thought it was funny.
So the BET Hip Hop Awards are tonight.
Okay.
And
that was filmed Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they got the freestyle ciphers, and I'm excited to see Linda Paulson's. What is this move?
I don't know, but she did it. She was so serious when she did it.
And I'm a woman. I know what a woman is.
I'm a woman too, boo. There's a lot of us out here. So yeah, that was interesting. That's all I got for it.
Bars. But yeah, so there's a lot of one big tactic is the fear mongering. Making the people that they want to vote for them fear what the opposing side wants to do. One big thing we'll talk about this a long time ago. We spoke about this already, but what is it called in Illinois? The law, safety law.
Oh, we did talk about that like a couple of weeks ago.
The safety law, where it's actually being presented as something that's going to let a bunch of convicts run wild in your community, and we're falling for it. Even us, you know what I'm saying? Because so what it is it's taken away. It's getting rid of the cash bail system. So if you get arrested and it's only for what is it? Not non-violent, because there are some violent crimes in there.
No, it's violent crimes.
Yeah. But like second degree murder is included in there.
Yeah.
Right. So if you get arrested for second degree murder, you can be let go without bail, without having to post bail until your court date. Now, what the way they're saying it is like they're going to let everyone that's in jail for second degree murder out, you know, out on the street.
But that's not what they're saying.
They're not.
No.
Now, the problem with historical problem with the bail system is that some people can afford to post bail and they get out right away. Some people, mostly Black and brown people, can't, and they have to stay in there until their court date. Now, the court date could be from, if you get arrested on Friday, then you can get a court date on Monday, or it could also be 2 years. It could take 2 years to get your court date, which has happened many a times in the state which is Illinois, the state that is taking place in. Now, you have a list of some of the offenses, right?
Yes, I do.
What are some of those?
So it offers new standards for when police use force. It requires officers.
Not yet, just the offenses.
Oh, okay. I went down. Is this what you want? Complaints of misconduct?
No.
Because I have a lot.
Like I just want to know what it's look for second degree murder, and this should be all right there. Or if you could search in the page.
Okay.
But yeah, so traditionally, you know, if you're rich or wealthy, then you have the money to get out right away. You post bond. The judge says, you know, you have to pay this much money to get out until your court date. If you can pay it, you're out. If you can't, you stay in there. Now in Illinois, people don't understand. Cook County is a Cook County jail, which is one of the biggest jails in Illinois. Chicago's jail. It is a pre-court date processing facility. So that's where you go before your court date. And there are people that have been there for years because they can't afford bail. So no matter if you did it or not, before you go to court, you have to stay there. So you're sitting there with actual real criminals, real killers, and you might not have done anything, but you don't have a chance to go to trial yet because you can't afford to get out. So, and also this is under the discretion of the judge as well. So the judge can say you can get out pending like you not being a flight risk. So they feel like you're going to be a flight risk, then you have to sit in jail until your court date. So it's not everyone. You know, these are special cases. If they don't think that you're going to run away, before your court date, then they'll let you out, which is not anything new to people that have the money to do so.
Well, it's kind of always worked like that.
Yeah. Deanna Stevens says in Winnebago County alone, we have 400 people that will be released in January.
It's quite a bit of people.
But that's not being freed.
But this law
you still have to go to court.
Illinois. As of now, right
now. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's 400 people that, could be innocent, could not. They just haven't gone to court yet. Now, people do crazy things and have money and they get out. So I feel like it's just leveling the playing field. If anything, but this is what people are pushing. They're pushing the fact that 400 people are going to be put back in the community, with their families and blah 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 blah. 400 possible criminals are going to be put back into the community when that bill covers a lot more, like you were just about to say. Yeah,
it's a lot on here.
Yeah, that gets looked over.
Yeah, it's a lot on here that ain't covered.
Everything if you guys remember, 8 Can't Wait. During 2020,
I remember 8 Can't Wait.
A lot of that is in this bill. The banning of chokeholds, the allocation of funds to mental health and different things like that. A lot of that is in here. That was the main reason for this bill, and the getting rid of the bail system. That is something that we asked for, but they're twisting it to make it seem like it's this dangerous, violent thing, when it's something that we've been asking for 2 years, and now they're making us feel like, no, this is horrible. Why would you do this? And it's right before the midterms. You have to
really read it, because it's a lot of good things in here.
Yeah,
it really is. But it's like you said,
it was in response to us requesting all this stuff in that 8 can't wait situation.
And it's like you just said, the people who are against the bill, they're going to focus on one thing about this bill. This bill is gigantic. I'm looking at it right now. It's huge. So there's not one thing to focus on. There's a ton of things in here. And if you know anything about how bills are, bills come with pros and cons. All bills do. No bill passed is perfect.
Right.
It's going to be somebody who be like, well, you passed that, but I don't like this part of it. And that's what the House and the Senate are supposed to do. They're supposed to fix it together, so the bill actually comes out where everybody is happy. But we both know that's not how it always works. So most of the time you'll get 8 things that's a positive, but you may get 2 things that's a negative.
Now I'm telling you, there's a ton of things in this bill that is amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. I'm reading
including the bail situation. I think that's amazing. But it's the way that they're twisting the narrative, and they're only talking about this because it's the easiest way. It's the easiest thing in all of this that they can twist. It's the easiest thing to make you guys afraid of what it is. But this is like, okay, let's give an example.
Okay.
Say Eva and I go out, right? We're at the Taco Tuesday Live on the 29th of October in Inglewood at 3:00, right?
Boom. We're there.
Someone comes in that we don't know, and they're, talking reckless. I get in a fight with them. Someone has spilled a Long Island iced tea on the ground. That person slips and falls and hits his head. They die. So before I can even go to trial, I have to go to jail and wait for my court date, right? That court date could take up to 2 years because everything's so backed up, and, they have this and this and this to this T to cross and this I to dot. And so I'm sitting in jail for getting in a fight where someone died that I didn't kill, but they died. This is second degree. This is what second degree manslaughter is.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with crooks and criminals and killers because I got in a fight protecting someone.
Yep.
Now,
and how fair is that?
And because I can't afford it. I can't afford to get out.
You can't afford the bill because he would have bail. The bill is very high.
Yeah. And
sometimes people people can put up their house. A lot of people don't own a house. They don't have nothing to put up. They don't have
place I'm sitting in. I'm renting.
Yeah, you need a collateral. You need some type of collateral for bail. And if you don't have it, then you find yourself in a really jacked up position.
All I got is the turtle.
Yeah, that's it. He's right there.
Who gonna take care of my turtle? You see this?
I answered him. But that was a great example. And people need to understand it actually levels the playing field on a lot of things. Because one thing I was just reading before you gave the example, one thing it's going to do is if somebody gets killed in law enforcement custody, is going to dig deeper into what happened to them. And that's something we all need, because a lot of people get
Sandra Bland.
Exactly. A lot of people get killed in custody. And somehow that just, they hung themselves or no, they did not. Like, what happened to them? Once you had them and you took them alive, why are they dead now?
Yeah.
They were just sitting in a room and I came back and they were dead. No, that don't make any sense. That's not happening.
Yeah.
And they're going to dive deeper into that and have other officials dive into that instead of the actual officials in that police station.
Like, this bill was made for us, pretty much by us. It pretty much is a response to everything we asked for in 2020. And
Illinois is putting it out there. And Illinois is one of the biggest.
No S.
Illinois is
There's an S, but you don't pronounce it.
Okay. Illinois is is a state with a very high situation of crime and everything right now. I'm not saying everybody doesn't, but they're the first to have an act like this. So I think if this act does well over there, you never know what other states may want to get involved and make one up for themselves also.
So we created this, but we're allowing the ops to take it and twist it. So when these elections come up, the people that made the bill will be looked at like crazy people, and because the bill's not understood. You know,
and I think that's
and no one's gonna dive deep. People don't dive deep. Like
you just listen. You listen to whoever you feel you can trust. But like I said, when it comes to bills and these propositions, there's pros and cons on each side. That's why you have to know both so you can make the best decision for you.
And pay attention to verbiage, because that's where they'll get you. A lot of the propositions out here, just like this bill, you know, the way that's being put out in the media is twisted, so it makes it sound like a bad thing, a scary thing, when it's really not. The rent control situation a couple years ago, people had no idea how to vote because the verbiage in both of them were so crazy that it looked good and it looked bad. You know, they both looked good and they both looked bad. You couldn't tell what was right for you because it was hard to understand.
Because you have to realize where you're getting the perspective. You have to realize where you're getting the information from. We had a proposition a couple of years ago. It was Prop 8, and it was either no on 8 or yes on 8. And the way the yes people was pushing 8 was they're going to teach our kids to marry gay, and they're going to, you know, teach this and teach that. And then the other people was like, they won't let me love who I want to love. And so, you know, no on 8 could have been a very positive thing, but since it said no on 8 and the way they pushed it, you was like, well, I'm gonna vote yes on 8, when really that wasn't how you felt.
Right.
So you gotta look at the perspective of who's telling you, you know, what way to vote. And one thing I always say about perspective is a turtle and a giraffe will always have a different one, because of how they are. Giraffes can see everything turtles can't, so their perspectives are different. So you need to be mindful when it comes to politics. Who are you getting this information from? Who are you receiving it from? Because their perspective may be different from yours. So you need to do your own due diligence and look into it yourself and just try to figure out, are you the turtle or the giraffe? The giraffe may say it's a beautiful day. If it's rainy, the turtle's going to be like, today sucks. You know, because he has to stay in. He's in the mud. The giraffe can get in some trees and chill out. So you need to be mindful of perspectives.
Well, it's turtles like rain too. I mean, you see, my turtle is subaquatic, so half of the tank is water, half the tank is outside the water. So I mean, wherever that came from.
Perspective. You got to look at the perspective.
We need different animals
of the person.
We need to workshop that with a little bit.
You got to look at the perspective. Turtles and giraffes actually do have very different perspectives. I promise you they do. You know, I'm not Dr. Doolittle, but I promise you they do. Okay, so we're going to move forward from there, and we're going to talk about something that actually happened today in the news, and that is Tia Mowry and Corey Hardwick.
That actually should have been chips and dip, and then what we just talked about should have been the hard shell, but yeah, that's all good.
They filed for divorce. And then shortly after that, while I was driving here, I come to find out that Tom Brady and Giselle has also hired divorce lawyers. And you have so many people saying, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. They were couple goals. How would you have seen that coming? You don't know them. You know, what happens behind closed doors in a marriage, a lot of people don't know. You don't know how long people have been trying to deal with something, and then they're just like, I can't anymore. And then they divorce. And you're like, well, what happened? It happened overnight. Divorce didn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. I guarantee you it doesn't. It's a conversation multiple times before you reach the point of, you know what, this isn't working. We need a divorce. Like, it's a conversation. It never happens overnight. Unless you're some people who get married for like 8 days or 9 days, like some people do. But if you're a person who's been married for a long time, Tia and Corey were actually married for 14 years. That's a very long time to be married. So their divorce didn't happen overnight. Tom and Giselle's been together for quite some time too. I don't know exactly how long, but they've been together a very long time. And that didn't happen overnight. And speaking as a married woman, divorce doesn't happen overnight. But you need to be mindful that you don't exactly know what's going on in these people's lives. So I hate when people say couple goals, because you don't really know what that couple may be going through. And I'm pretty sure if you did, they probably wouldn't be your goal.
But they go off of what's on social media, which is the highlights. You know,
the highlight reel of people's life is social media.
Not many people post, you know, the down parts, unless it's, you know, the people that thrive off of like the whole reality TV feel, where, you know, they want to put the person cheating or the person dating mama drama and all that stuff onto the on their page.
And then I sometimes I hate the fact that celebrities feel they owe us something.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a celebrity, but
because we feel like they owe us something.
Yeah, but they don't.
Yeah,
they really don't. Like if T and I was to get a divorce and I didn't tell anybody, I feel like everybody would be like, "But why didn't you tell us?" Why would I?
Right.
It's not your business. This is our business, and we have to figure this out on our own.
But we're different, though.
We're different, though. So it's just crazy to me. And then, like I was telling Casey when I got here, I think sometimes the world is just different. We're not in 25 or 30 years ago where people feel I'm married, I have to stay married, I have to stay in this marriage no matter what. We live in a world where mental health is very upfront and very in your face. And if you are unhappy, don't stay unhappy. Don't be unhappy. There's life after this. You can find happiness after this. And we live in a society right now that really pushes that narrative that there is life after this compared to maybe 25, 30 years ago. You have people who was like, I'm not happy, but I'm not going to get divorced. I'm going to stay here. So you need to be mindful. We live in a different era where people are like, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore and I'm out. I'm giving it all I got. But it takes two to make a marriage work. And that's probably my biggest advice to tell people. It takes two. Both of you have to want the marriage to work. And if only one person wants the marriage to work, the marriage will fail. Because you can't be married to yourself. You hear people like, I married myself. No, you didn't. You can't. You physically fucking can't marry yourself. You can sit up there and have a ceremony. You do, I do, whatever. But you really can't marry yourself. You got to marry another individual. I don't care what gender the person is, but it's another individual that's supposed to be involved in marriage. So you have to be mindful. If one of the individuals that's involved don't want to be there anymore, there isn't anything you can do about that. And we don't know exactly what all happened for people to get divorced, but I promise you, it didn't happen overnight. Divorce does not happen overnight.
Right.
Marriage most definitely happens overnight. You can fall in love, get some good, and boom, I love you. I want to be with you. But divorce doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And it can, if you don't do it swiftly, it can become very, very ugly, especially if you have children involved, which both of them do. They both have young children, actually.
Now, Tia, she's gone on social media and is actually pretty transparent about it today, saying that they will remain friends and
they have to co-parent.
They're going to continue to co-parent for their children, and that she's grateful for all the years that they had and all that stuff, and very transparent, which is not normal for people of color, but she also comes from a mixed family as well.
Yes, she does,
and
she felt the need to
because
share.
we watched her and her sister and her brother since they were kids. So I mean, it's like
and
that's like family.
She's very big on social media. Like she does a lot of social media things. So I think she just wanted to get that out there because it was no way it was going to be hidden once you file.
Right.
Once you file, it's public record.
Yeah.
And you have somebody who
and, they find everything.
And you have somebody who literally goes every single day to see who filed from TMZ. Yeah. That is their whole job is to see who filed for divorce.
They even check to see who unfollowed people. So
so
they're gonna find that.
That's their job. There is no other job but to find out who took care of what. So I just she did the right thing because it would have just been more of like rumor talk if she didn't want to come out and actually say something. But I feel sometimes people have to realize you don't owe us anything. Yeah. That's your marriage, your situation, and you owe no one nothing. When you said you wanted to get married and people said don't, you still chose to. So now that you don't want to be in it, this is your life and you have to figure that out and do it. And you shouldn't look for anybody to agree or disagree with it, even though people on social media will constantly always give you their goddamn opinion. Even when you're not asking.
Even when you don't ask for it.
Yeah. So I do wish both of them the best, but I hate to see that, they wasn't able to work it out. But marriage is not easy. And I will say that and put that on the record. Marriage is not easy. It is a constant job that you get absolutely no off days. So you need to be mindful of that when you go into it.
Who wants a job like that?
Who wants a job like that? Believe it or not, a lot of people want to be married.
Just give me
but I don't know
some sick days.
I don't know if they understand.
Can I get sick days? Can I get a couple of days off?
No off days.
Paid time, paid off with leave?
No off days. No,
a little paid leave.
You are married at all.
Man, that's rough, man.
Yeah, It's true though, and I think people need to be very mindful of that.
But yeah, people don't understand it.
Because like you said, they look at people's highlight reel and they're like, oh my God.
If they can do it, and that's amazing,
then I
can do it.
But people argue, people disagree, people go through their shit.
People are human.
They're human. And you have two
just like celebrities are.
Yeah, you have two different people, evolving in their own life experience and trying to do it together, and it doesn't always work that way.
Right.
And I think people need to be mindful of that. Some people figure it out very young, very quickly, and they do very well, and not everybody does. And not everybody is meant to be married forever. So you need to mind that too.
Randall says, "Ain't no PTO, Casey."
Rand no, because Rand knows.
Sounds like a horrible job.
No,
I need a benefits package.
It's a great job, but it's not an easy job, and I think that's something that people need to really, really understand. I'm not saying it's the most difficult thing in the world, but it is something you have to work at on a constant basis.
Dental? Is there dental?
Well, if they got a good job, one of them can come to dental. But it's no off days.
I'll take it.
It's no off days. And if you really want it to work, you got to put the effort for it. And I'm not saying they didn't really want it to work, but I am saying it didn't happen overnight.
I mean, they were together for a very long time.
They were. I don't know how long they dated,
children.
but they were married for 14 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And they grew up together. Like, you have to realize they got married pretty young.
Yeah.
And they grew up together. And some people actually, as crazy and hurtful as it may sound, some people actually grow apart.
I've never had a job for 14 years. So, I mean, hey.
Well, I've been on the job longer. 14 years. Yeah, my job is longer. I've been on the job a tad bit longer than 14 years.
Hopefully, got a good severance plan because.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But it's just not easy. So just be mindful when you say couple goals, because if you really had to put on that couple shoes, you probably wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be where they were. You wouldn't have survived what they've survived because you don't know what that is. You need tenacity to really get through a marriage.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you need
tenacity.
Okay, what you do, it's a very needed situation in marriage, especially if you get married young, just because you guys grow up together. And as you grow, you will change as you're supposed to. Maybe if you get married in your 40s, you've kind of settled, on who now you're just riding that wave of who you are. So your mate, a lot's not going to change. Maybe this is who you're going to be until you guys, until the end. But when you get married in your early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, you still got some self-growing to do, self-reflection, some growth on a personal level to do. So you need to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
That's just a little no chaser real quick for you.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. But, I like my job. I like my job partner.
Yeah, I got a pretty good crew.
Yeah, I do. And I said like, not love, because you do love them, but you have to like them.
Yeah.
People who
love ain't enough.
Exactly. People who are divorced don't always not love one another. They just don't like each other anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, I still love him. I just don't like who he became. Or vice versa. I still love her. I just don't like who she became. So liking your mate as much as loving your mate is ridiculously important.
How do you maintain the like in the relationship? We're at an hour now, but I just want a little tidbit from that.
How do you maintain the light? Randall, where are you? Well, it has a lot to do with growing together and communication.
And
that
doesn't mean you have to be young when you got together. You can grow together at any age.
At any age, once you guys get, because you guys are gonna, come across new hobbies. As you get older, you do things that you didn't do when you were 20. Because you're 40 now, you don't do the same things. And if you kind of keep a person out, keep them away from that, you block them from that, and you take that from them, then it feels like you're invading their space. So you have to be mindful not to segregate yourself from your mate, but at the same time share something. And it may not be your mate's thing, and that's okay. I'm not gonna always like the same thing, but if you liking it makes you happy, and you're not doing anything to go against this marriage and against me on a personal level, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But liking is a very it's a very difficult thing to figure out because a lot of people don't always like each other. So you have to communicate. And when you hold
like Relax and Vibration said, ooh, great question. LOL, communication is always key.
Yeah, but honest communication. You know, people will say communication all the time, but if you're not telling the truth,
they'll say what you want. They'll say what they think that their mate wants to hear.
And if you're not being honest, then we failed. The communication was worthless. And if I know you love me and I love you, why do you think I would say something to hurt your feelings? Like, why would that be my key thing? Oh, you're just saying that to hurt my feelings. Why the hell would I want to hurt your feelings? I'm just telling you how I feel. And sometimes we have to take our defenses down and be a little vulnerable to listen to somebody, you know, because sometimes people feel like, oh, you just said that to hurt my feelings. It's like, honestly, no, I'm just telling you how I feel. Like, and hopefully you and your mate are at a point where you guys can really have that open, honest communication.
Also, you have to be able to communicate how you feel without being offensive.
Most definitely.
Take that into mind.
Well, we've said this numerous times on the show. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's very mindful. Even in a friendship. Yeah. When him and I are not on the same page, I don't, fuck that. He'll be
That's how I be.
That's him, not me. No. But you have to, communication and how you communicate is very, very important. And honest communication. You got to be honest. And if you can't be, then maybe that person shouldn't be your spouse. Yeah. You know, because if I can't tell you the truth, like the real hard truth, no matter how ugly that is, then maybe we shouldn't have done this and we shouldn't have tethered ourselves with one another.
Oh, Randall, I was just about to say this, just in a different way. He says, and don't listen to respond, listen to understand what the person is saying. I was going to say, seek to understand and not to be understood. And it's pretty much the same thing.
Same exact thing.
Yeah, because if you're listening to respond, you're not comprehending, you're not soaking in everything that your partner is saying to you.
You're technically not listening.
You're on the defense.
You hear them.
Yeah.
You hear them talking, and all you can do in your head is be like, you know what I'm about to say? You know what I'm about to say?
Exactly.
Well, what the hell? We're not going to solve anything if you're just coming at me.
Right. Relax and Vibration says, without being offense is important, but I do feel like it should be a safe space to speak freely.
It should.
Yeah, but you should also not want to offend your partner as well. So say what you want to say what you need to say, but be mindful of the way you're saying it. And if you actually know your partner, know how they're going to take it and kind of be gentle with that as well.
I think that was a great point you just made. And then I know we got to get out of here, but you have to actually know your partner. So you have to know how they receive information. Some people receive information very abruptly and they don't take offense. They're not offended. You just say it and they handle it and they're ready to have a conversation. Some other people, I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not gonna be as abrupt as I would be. But I'm still gonna tell you because you have to know your person. And some people are you'd be like, well, this is a sensitive subject for him or for her, so I'm not gonna just come at them. But I am gonna wait until the time is right where we can have an open conversation about it.
Not only then, but wait until they've cooled down.
Yeah, so they can receive it. Yeah, because if you catching them in the heat of an argument, they receive absolutely nothing. Yeah,
it's gonna be just like Randall said. They're gonna be on the defense, pretty much on the defense.
And you need to be mindful of that. And everybody always says communication. And I've noticed that when I get asked questions and when I've asked questions to people who've been married longer than myself. But I think honest communication is the key. Because I think a lot of couples are communicating, but they're not telling the truth.
Yeah, they're saying what their partner wants to hear. They're saying what
the person wants to hear
just
instead of how they actually
dead the conversation.
Feel. Yeah, because they don't want to have the conversation anymore. And if you don't want to have the conversation, that's what you should say. You should just be like, you know what, I don't really want to talk about this right now. I'm not in a good headspace to have this conversation. And that's actually honest. And that's okay. It's okay not to be in a good headspace to have a conversation. But at some point, you got to realize we need one. Yeah. We need to converse and talk about this. And I think that's really important. So just for people to be like, I didn't see this coming. And, you know, what happened? Who knows what happened? They could have been on outs for the last 2.5 years trying to figure it out till they just couldn't figure it out anymore. I do think for most couples, divorce is a last resort. I do think they try. And like I said, some people just grow apart.
They were together for a very long time.
Yeah, yes, they have.
Who knows how long they've been trying?
Exactly. And believe it or not, the number one reason for divorce, and I'm not saying that this is one of them, but is not cheating. It is finances.
I can get that.
Finances is the number one reason for divorce. It has been for a very long time. I know a lot of people think it's infidelity, but it is not. Finances is the number one reason for divorce.
I mean, hell, even when it comes down to friendships and family, like finances is what tears that apart too. If you loan a friend some money that you can't afford to lose, you know, then that tears friendships apart.
Or when you're taking advantage of. You know, some people are taking advantage of. and then they just be like, you feel like you've been in a con artist relationship. It's like you've been conning me the whole goddamn time.
Right.
So you got to take that in consideration too.
All right. Another thing we got to take into consideration is time.
Yep.
So we are past that hour. So I think it's time for the bill. Eva, how do you feel about that?
Well, we started the show off talking about Kanye West and his fashion show in Paris, coming out with his sweatshirt on saying White Lives Matter, being accompanied by Candace Owens. And from that subject, we went on to talk about a little politics, and talked about the campaign managers and how they're running their campaigns right now. We listened to the rap by, what's her name? Paulson, Senator Paulson in Utah, and the rap she made. And then we listened to, is it John? Yeah. John Kennedy. And he said, call a crackhead.
If you get in trouble and you don't like the police, call a crackhead.
That's what he said. And he said he supports this message.
Yeah.
that is what he said. And then after that, we had to touch a little bit on the Tia Mowry and Giselle and Tom Brady both filing for divorce on the same day, and just how marriage really is and how it really works. And, just don't be deceived by everything you see in the public eye. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, social media is a highlight reel of people's real lives. You don't know what's going on behind a camera. So just be mindful of that, so.
And just a reminder, October 29th, we will be doing our first live of this year. First live since last year. Our first live event.
Yes.
And at the Nile bar in Inglewood. 3 o'clock.
Flyers coming soon.
Yes.
We'll be, Casey and I actually start our show at 3 p.m. And so we'll be actually speaking for about an hour and 15 minutes at the bar, and then it'll go straight into happy hour.
Yeah, so it'll be a costume party, costume contest. Yep. So
drink specials.
So please get your costume ideas together right now so you can come and slay for whatever prizes we have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all know we're gonna have some good prizes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure of it.
I still owe people from the last one, but it's all good.
I'm gonna make sure. They're gonna have some good prizes.
Yes, yeah. All right, guys. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcasts. Also follow us on Instagram at Talk with Tuesday 365. And if you have anything you want to talk about, slide in our DMs there, or you can email us at talkwithtuesdayla@gmail.com. All right, guys. Like always, I'm KC.
I'm E.
And we are Not Your Average Podcast. Holla.
Good night, you guys. Have a great evening. Happy Taco Tuesday.
Yes.
You're looking at the plug. Ooh, you know I got it. Yeah. If you need a little love, 'cause you ran out.